Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now in this video, I'm going to give you my 2026 price prediction. Now there's a lot of talk about $1, $10, 50 cents, etc. But what I'm going to do is give you my prediction based on data, based on the analysis, and that's it. And of course, I will talk about if everything goes right, where we could see price go beyond this target. But this is my realistic price target. Now, before we move forward, I want to make it clear, nothing that you see in this video is financially advised. I am not a financial advisor, so always make sure to do your own independent research. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. Now, we have a few short-term targets for this month. For those of you that missed that recent video, I think that we could see price at least go back up to the top of its range around 0.0069468. It's about 130% from where we currently are now. If everything goes right to end the year, then we could see a 279 percentage point move, which would bring us to 0.0113997. Right, so those are the two targets for December. But the question is, where are the target for 2026? Now, I think there's several things that could occur going into 2026. Now, it all depends on the overall market conditions. Now, currently, Zebec is at a $225 million market cap. Now, Zebec, believe it or not, has had a great year. It's actually outperformed the majority of coins in the market. And for those of you that have maybe forgotten about this, Zebec is currently up 195% for the year, which is absolutely fantastic when you compare that to other coins in the market. At its peak was up 622%. Now, what happens for 2026? Now, I actually think we're going to see a similar scenario occur. Now, I believe we're going to see an aggressive altcoin season. That's just my prediction. Now, the question is, how long does that altcoin season last for? How long does the overall bullish momentum in the entire market last for? These are going to be factors that are obviously going to affect price action. Now, if we're going to be extraordinarily bullish to start off with, let's just assume, and again, we are going to be very, very bullish to start off with. Let's say we see the altcoin season that we've all been waiting for and everything goes great, right? And we see price go, climb high. Let's just say from where we currently are now, price ends up hitting let's just say $8 billion market cap, right? Let's just say price goes all the way from 2 to around an $8 billion market cap, which is a 4,000% gain, a 40x from where we currently are now. So let's just say that happens. Price ends up hitting 12 cents. Fantastic. Great. We're starting to see signs of what we experienced in previous bull cycles with other projects and other gains. But as you all know, the market has changed. So to prepare for a 2021 bull cycle scenario or 2017 bull cycle scenario is actually, in my opinion, not a great idea and ends up setting a lot of people up for failure. Because let's just say everything does go well to start the year. We see a fantastic Jan, fantastic Feb, fantastic March, maybe even a fantastic April, and we end up hitting this target. Well, we all know the market does not travel in the straight line. So although, yes, we could potentially end up hitting an $8 billion market cap, maybe even a $10 billion market cap. And for those of you that are new here and thinking, wow, this is exciting, but is this realistic? Sounds like a pipe dream. Just go back to not even 2017, 2021, and you look at the type of projects that ended up hitting 10, 20, $30 billion market cap, and you're going to be very, very surprised. So in fact, many of you that have experienced those recent cycles know that I'm actually downplaying this by quite a lot, right? But let's just say that does happen. But I just believe we're going to see a crash at some point. Now, when is that going to happen? We don't know. Well, we do have a rough idea based on our analysis. Again, make sure you're all subscribed so you don't miss out on videos just like this. I gave out some free buy calls on Zebec a few days ago. If you missed it, it means you're not subscribed. So please subscribe. But I would urge you all to join my free Telegram group. The link is in my description. And this is where, I get into things behind the scenes. I talk about where the market is heading overall and just more in-depth stuff in my inner circle. So if you want to be a part of that, join my free Telegram group now. The link is in my description. Now, with all that being said, let's just assume we do see that sell-off, that market crash at some point. Well, from this point, we could see price sell off by, over, 60%. In fact, price could sell off by over 70%. But let's just assume, it does remain stable. Kind of like, let's just be, again, past performance is no indicator of future success. But from its highs in June 2025, Zebec has sold off again 58%. So it's holding up quite well. Let's just see, we see that 50% scenario once again. Where do we end up? We end up around 0.06222405, and we can end up ending the year at that level, right? And from where we currently are now, it's about 20x. So that brings us to a $4 billion market cap. And to be honest with you, look, as Zebec does catch traction, as Zebec does build momentum, I do think, yes, it will enter the $1 billion market cap realm, but I think it will happen gradually. I think it will be, something that will be a process, kind of like XRP. Yes, we're going to have that fantastic run, but then we will eventually see that sell off, and then price will gradually go back up, find a baseline, and then range from here. Kind of like what it's doing now. So a $4 billion market cap, I think to end 2026 is absolutely fantastic in my opinion, especially for those of us that are in this project now, especially for those of us that have been buying since the start of the year, especially those of us that have been buying from the April lows. Again, I gave out free buy calls at the July lows and more, right? So if you're watching this right now, ultimately you are the biggest winners, and here's the reason why. If price ends the year around that 600% mark, for those of you that bought at the start of the year, or ends at the top of its range, well, guess what ends up happening? Those people in 2026 are looking at a 745 percentage point gain. Still great, but again, it's not a 20x. And if we see the very bull case scenario to end the year, well, guess what happens? They end up making 465 percentage point gains, right? And you can see here how things change. And that's why I've been getting myself positioned in Zebec at these areas, because even if we do hit that baseline target, then we are looking at a fantastic 2026, especially for those of us that are in this project now. Again, if you have been buying since the start of the year, do you know what this means? It means you end up making absolutely insane, close to a 80x, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. So, and that is my baseline. If we do surpass $8 to $10 billion market cap, let's just say we see a bull cycle or bullish momentum throughout the entire year, we could be potentially looking at those kind of numbers. And I'm actually going to do a part 2 to this, where I am going to talk about the very, very bull case scenario if every single thing goes right and we end 2026 bullish, where we could end up. And again, this would be Bitcoin surpassing 300,000 and more. We are going to talk about that scenario, so make sure you stay locked in, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're part of my Telegram group, link in my description, because we have some incredible Zebec updates for you guys. But that's it for now, guys. Until the next update, seize the day.